Hello and welcome back to the Jacob and Jacob podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Robom, joined as always by my co-host, Jacob Hare. And today we have a very special guest, Super Bowl winning quarterback and two-time Pro Bowler, Brad Johnson. Brad, thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate you guys having me on your show. Thanks for reaching out, man. It says a lot about you guys.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you and really appreciate you coming.
Not every day you get to speak with the Super Bowl winning quarterback. So it's cool. It's an unbelievable opportunity for us. So thank you for coming on.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. So, of course, you played for the Buccaneers and won a Super Bowl with them. Just back in February, the Bucs, of course, won another Super Bowl. Were you rooting for them to get it done?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Just to kind of take you back in time, we won the Super Bowl in 2003 and with the Buccaneers. And it was a great team. A lot of guys have gone on to make Hall of Fame and those kind of things. But that's the last time the Bucs have won a playoff game in 18 years. So it's pretty cool. And when I was a free agent coming out of Washington Redskins, I had a couple choices. I had a chance to go to either Baltimore or Kansas City in free agency. And there's a lot of reasons why I felt like it was a better contract when I went to Tampa. But one of the other reasons, my agent, Phil Williams, and my wife, we lived in Tallahassee, Florida. But one of the other reasons was Tampa had never won a Super Bowl. And so it's pretty cool. The last time a Super Bowl had been won was in 1972 with the Miami Dolphins with Bob Greasy. So that was another big reason to go there, to be the first quarterback to have won it. And now they got the greatest quarterback of all time, and Tom Brady, who's won 7 rings. So it was pretty cool and very deserving of that team and Tom to win it.
So as a guy who was the quarterback in the Super Bowl, what does the preparation look like for a quarterback going into the Super Bowl week? Is it the same as any other week? But I know the game's not the same as any other week. But what is the preparation?
It was unique the year we won it. Usually from the AFC or the NFC Championship game, there's a 2-week break in between the games. But for some reason in our year in 2003, there was only 1 week. So we played the NFC Championship game on a Sunday in Philly. We flew back to Tampa. And then that Monday afternoon, we were flying to San Diego to get ready for the Super Bowl. So a lot goes into it. So, basically your whole life you've worked to get there. Then all of a sudden you got every aunt, every uncle, every friend, every people reaching out to you. They want to come to the game. So it was nuts. So basically I had the NFL that gives you 2 tickets, and then you have to buy the rest. So I got the right to buy 10 tickets, and then I actually got a hold of 10 more tickets. So I had 20 tickets that I had. And so I bought all those 20 tickets, hotel rooms, airplane flights, all those kind of things. Then you had to deal with media requests on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so it was just really compact. And then at the end of the week, you got to play a football game. So you become a travel agent. That's where you become a travel agent, try to plan all of these tickets and hotels and those kind of things for your friends. But it's an awesome, awesome thing. I've watched the Super Bowl ever since I was a little kid, eating chips and dip and, watching somebody else say they're going to Disneyland after the game's over. And so that was my moment to be a part of that and to play in that big game. It was pretty awesome to be a part of that.
I mean, it sounds like you're a pretty good man getting all those people out to the game. I mean, that's super cool.
It was awesome to share that moment. I had my wife. My son Max was 2 years old at the time. My wife Nikki was pregnant with our other son Jake, who was 7.5 months pregnant at the time. My parents, my high school coaches Bill Burrows and Kenny Ford. My agent, I had 2 marketing agent Brian Lammy and Phil Williams, and then some close friends. And it's hard to pick who you're really going to bring to the game with you. And but the cool thing for me was after the game was over, we did a parade in Tampa. I actually got to do the parade at Disneyland, and then I did a parade in Tampa. But later that spring, went back to my hometown of Black Mountain, North Carolina, and we did a parade in my hometown. And so the cool thing about that, you kind of get to share the moment, the memories, and realize how many people and coaches and friends and people that impacted your life that I kind of got to give back and share some of those memories and experiences too. Just realize how many people are really pulling for you.
So we talked about sort of the preparation going into the big game. What were your nerves like? Were you nervous going in, or were you just more like excited and ready to play the game?
Kind of going back to what earlier, there's only 1 week of difference instead of 2 weeks. If there would have been 2 weeks of difference, probably a lot of time just to think about, man, all the scenarios. But basically, a 1 week difference. We were in game mode. We'd already played, nearly 22 games, counting preseason games, playoff games. So you're just in game mode. And so really you did the same film work I'd done all season long, the same practice schedule pretty much. And you're just really just ready to play the game, get the game over with and go. So yeah, sorry about that.
All good, all good.
But really, I really wasn't nervous. I was really just more excited to play the game. I did wake up early in the morning on Super Bowl Sunday. I woke up about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, just excited, ready to play. I knew I had to go back to bed. And then our game out there was a 3:15 game. And I was excited to go. It's one of those days that you feel like you don't get tired. You're excited. You got the adrenaline to go. But at the end of the day, you have to, it's about decision-making, fundamentals, sticking with your game plan, and just trusting your talents and play the game that you've always played as a little kid. And then especially as we played that whole season long.
So going into that first huddle, I mean, you're the quarterback of the team, you're the leader, everyone's listening to you. What's the first thing you remember going into that huddle and saying to your teammates?
Really didn't have to say anything. During the course of the week, you have meetings from coaches. We have players meetings. We have all these kind of practices and walkthroughs. So you're just ready to play. So basically, I'm there to call the first play of the game and move on. So and if there's anything to be said, I think it's more just, hey guys, let's just do what we've done all season long. Don't make it more than what it already is, and just trust in our talent, trust in each other, and then we'll be ready to play. So that was our mindset. We had a great team. Some guys that went on to make Hall of Fame, Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks, and now John Lynch, and hopefully a couple more, and Rondé Barber and Simeon Rice. And then offensively, we had some great players in Keenan McCardell and Keyshawn Johnson and Joe Jaravicius and Mike Allstott and Michael Pittman, and the list goes on. So we had great coaches, great players, and I think that's just we just played within the framework of our team.
So you mentioned the great coaches, and the head coach on that Super Bowl team was, of course, current Raiders head coach Jon Gruden. One of his famous sort of play calls, or not play calls, but sort of blanking on the word right now. It's like snap count, I think the word is. I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but what did you say?
Audible?
I don't think it's audible, but it was Spider 2Y banana.
That's right.
What does that mean? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. U shift to green left west, F short, Spider 2, U banana, heads up for 358 smoke, or check H2 Miami. So Spider is basically a protection. So I've called Spider different names. I've called it fire pass, dart pass, Rambo pass, and basically it's just a line. The line is going to slide down. And basically, at the end of the day, Spider 2 Y banana. So whatever, if you say a Y banana, the Y is going to run a corner route. If you say a Z banana, the Z is going to run a corner route, or whoever that is. So Spider is the protection. Spider 2 would be to the right. Spider 3 would be to the left. And basically, there's going to be a fullback in the flat. There's different route combinations, but it's a simple play. And it's a great football play. It's off the power pass kind of concept. And usually you try to hit that fullback in the flat. If not, you hit the corner, you hit like a drag underneath. And Gruden, he had his TV show, so he kind of made that Spider 2 Y banana was something that kind of became popular as far as fans go. But as far as coaches and systems and throughout the test of time, we've been running that play for a long time. So, but he kind of, I guess he's got his he's got Spider2YBanana.com written on his forehead. One of those kind of things.
So, of course, quarterback, when you step up to the line of scrimmage, say whatever the play, I say it's a pass play, what are you first looking for in the defense when you're about to snap the football?
Yeah, a lot of times, it's a great question. A lot of times you will make that play, you'll call that play in the huddle, okay? Double right F short, 2 jet, Z drive, Y shallow cross. something like that. Okay. So whatever all that means, but there's a lot of, the number one thing for a quarterback is protections. So you have to know, is it a 6-man slide protection? Is it a 5-man? Is it a 6-man man protection? Is it a 7-man protection? Is it a 5-man protection? As far as the blocking schemes go. So you'll always go up there and you'll see the quarterback, he's pointing at somebody. We usually call that the mic for the most part, okay? And so when you point that guy, the lineman usually have the 4 down lineman and then the mic. And then your back kind of figures out who he has to block next. So the number one thing you're concerned about first is who's the mic. And so when you pick out the mic, then everybody kind of knows who do you have breakoffs, do you have hots? And then you're always looking for middle of field close, like cover 3, cover 1, or cover 2, or quarters coverage, those kind of things. So, and so sometimes you might have a full field read where you might be cover 3, I'm throwing to the right, cover 2, I'm throwing to the left, and just kind of knowing your outlets of who you're going to throw to. So number 1, I make that protection call. Number 2, you go up there and you got your snap count. Sometimes you might use a dummy snap count, yellow 88, yellow 88, to see if those safeties might tip their hand. Is it cover 3? Is it cover 2? Those kind of things. So, and then you just want to be on top of it with, how many steps you take in the pocket. Is it 3 steps, 5 steps, potential 7, and then read it out. And then I always say, make the read, make the throw, make the play, and then move on to the next play.
So how hard is it to adjust to reading defenses in college compared to the NFL? How did you adjust to that?
Great question. I think the biggest jump is going from high school to college, as far as the size of the players, as far as the speed of the game. Okay, because you might have a 210-pound lineman in high school. Now he's 315 pounds. It goes up quick, and the speed of the receivers and DBs are much faster, much bigger. So, and it goes up another notch when you go from college to pros. The biggest difference when you go from college to pro is the amount of plays and protections that you have compared to college. So a college is usually on a 20-hour rule a week as far as the amount of time they can practice, and then the meeting times. And the pros, you're there from 7 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. So you just have that much more time to prepare for your opponent. Where in college, you're having to go to class and homework and tutors, and then kind of bunching that your playbook and practice time too. So that's the biggest jump.
And 2 of your sons, Jake and Max, both are on, or Jake is committed to play tight end at LSU, and Max is the quarterback at LSU. So how have you been preparing for there in their careers, and what advice have you given while they're in college?
Yeah, Max is my oldest son. I've coached him out of the womb. As a quarterback, he came out and he can throw a rock, he can throw a frisbee, he can throw, whatever it is, and he ended up being the best at football more than baseball. So coaching him is a little bit different than coaching my other son, Jake, who's a senior in high school now, who will be a tight end at LSU also. So I don't know how to teach Jake how to block. I don't know how to teach Jake how to run routes, because those are the things I've done. I've been more of a quarterback. So spent a little bit more time with Max as far as teaching him coverages, steps of the drops, how to actually throw the ball, those kind of things. And then when he gets off to college, then he has to learn their playbook. It's not really I can say, hey, son, on this play, you're doing this. He's in their playbook with their coaches and those kind of things. With Jake, I'm coaching him 1 more year in high school, then he'll go off to LSU next year. So my arm's still good enough to just throw to him enough on the side. And so I'll throw him a lot of routes. We sometimes we don't have those routes in high school that I know he's getting ready to have in college. So we'll practice running the whole route tree with him and just kind of what his next level is. And he's spending a lot more time in the weight room, kind of getting beefed up for the next level. Jake's about 6'5.5", 6'6", to about 230 pounds. He'll probably gain another 10 or 15 pounds heading into college. And Max is about 6'5", 220 pounds. So different types of body types, different type of players, but it's fun to watch them as a dad and coach them too.
So you mentioned playbook with your son. You mentioned LSU playbook and how you can't really help him with that. But when you were in the NFL and college and even like high school, what is it like having to learn the plays at the beginning of the season, memorize a playbook, and be able to execute on game day?
It's a lot. It's a lot. Now in high school and college, they just use a snap count. It may be a clap. Where, in the pros, in college you might play a call like right 64 right 460 dart, right 460 dart. Where in the pros you might call green right slot 93W heads up for a buster call, kill 96 Seattle, and I got 58 Dolphin in my back pocket. So it's a lot more words as you go up from high school to college to pro. And so I remember, and what's different for kids nowadays is they, starting in middle school through high school, there's a lot more 7-on-7, a lot more flag football kind of things in the spring. It's almost become year round. Where when I grew up, it was more, I'm going to play football in the fall, I'm going to play basketball in the winter, I'm going to play baseball in the spring. Well, now you're getting the kids that are playing really either one sport or maybe two. It's hard to actually combine them. So, but I will say this, kids are much, much better now, I think, at the quarterback position and other skill positions because, one, they're doing it more. Two, watching these video games from the Madden football games or these flag football games, they're getting more football year round. So they see more coverages, they see more plays, they see more concepts. And so when they do get on campus, they're able to get more accomplished than what we were able to do. So when I was first there, they called double right check with me. And I had no clue what cover 3, cover 2, or what to check to. Now you're calling all kinds of plays in the huddle real quick. And it's a lot to learn.
So would you agree with this statement? I know that in basketball, the coaching is good, and in baseball, the coaching is good. But in football, those kids are coached better than any sport. And that's why they're more prepared than NBA players at the next level, NHL players at the next level, and MLB players at the next level. So would you say that football has the best coaching out of any sport?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say that, to be honest with you, because there may be some spectacular coaches in high school or middle school. So it really depends on that particular coach and how much you're getting it year round. I would say that more than anything. And I think the biggest thing for kids in middle school and high school, you hope to be around a coach that teaches a lot of fundamentals and that gives you a lot of work on, that shows you a lot of film, and you can learn it on a grease board, not where you're having to actually do it physically, where you can actually learn. And so the things I would tell kids to do now is learn the drills, if basketball or baseball, or whatever it is. Get on YouTube, listen to other coaches, watch games on TV, like actually watch games on TV. Just don't always find the highlights. Watch them, listen to the announcers, those kind of things. So there's some excellent coaches at all levels, and hopefully as a kid you can find the right program or right coach for you, especially at an early age.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with that. I think coaching from the youngest ages to the oldest ages in pros is extremely important. And Brad, before we let you go, I have to ask you one last question. How are your Seminoles going to do this season?
Seminoles they've had a little rough run here the last few years. But they got a coach Norvell came in. They've improved a little bit. They've improved in the recruiting process. Last year, I think they won. They've kind of been that. It used to be a powerhouse. I was there from 87 to 2001, 14 straight years in a row. We're ranked in the top 4. It's taken a little dip, but it's going to be on the rise again. They're going to start recruiting kids, especially outside of Florida. So, hope they bounce back. So it's been a rough couple of years here lately.
But don't worry, you got the LSU Tigers. You're good with them.
Yeah, that's the team I'm really pulling for right now. So hopefully they have a great year and make a run at trying to win a national championship.
Yeah. Well, Brad, thank you so much for coming on. It was great speaking football with you and hearing about your career. We really appreciate you taking the time to come on, and hopefully we can do it again soon sometime.
I appreciate it, guys. You guys got a bright future in front of you. I'm going to keep up with you for a long time, and then hopefully you'll be doing a podcast with my boys one day. So appreciate it, guys. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.